On Infowars.com, update, New Zealand government steals baby from parents after they demand unvaccinated blood for heart surgery. And now they're putting a guardian over the baby, but they've still got the little sweetie pie right there that we can see on screen. I want to first go to a short newscast with the update and then go to them joining us in the middle of the night in New Zealand. Here it is.
Decision has been made in this case of the 4-month-old baby and whether guardianship will be put into the court. The judge has ruled for guardianship of this 4-month-old baby to be placed into the court so that its heart surgery can proceed as soon as possible. Now, this is only a temporary guardianship of the court for this child, a set period of time until the 31st of January. Now, the court will appoint 2 doctors as its agents for the purpose of consenting to this child's surgery, all decisions relating to surgery, including the blood products that are used. Now, these medical agents will have to keep the child's parents informed. And remember that the parents remain the agents of all other decisions for this child. Now, lawyers in the court at the hearing yesterday said as soon as a decision was released, they would begin preparations here at Starship Hospital for this baby's surgery to go ahead. They said that that would take about 48 hours to prepare for. So 48 hours from now, it is likely or possible that this child could go ahead with heart surgery in the usual manner on Friday.
Alice, can the family appeal this decision?
Yes, Mike, they do have the right to. At this stage, we don't have any indication as it's just come out as to whether that will happen. However, regardless, this order still has effect until any appeal can be heard. So lawyers for the family would need to also apply for a stay to prevent surgery from proceeding. And as mentioned, 48 hours from now, it takes about 48 hours for preparations for that surgery. But this 4-month-old child, their medical decisions now being made by court-appointed agents who will consent to the surgery and allow it to go ahead.
Alice, we're going to come back to you later with some more reaction to this, but just repeating that breaking news that a gravely ill baby has been put into guardianship by the Auckland High Court. More on this throughout the bulletin.
So this is all about the states, the same worldwide UN directed, taking control of your bodies, and now saying we're going to put blood product to people that have a growing prion or spike protein in your body. We have all the medical reports. The governor of Florida has criminal investigations going, and Big Pharma lying about this, but they're still doubling down. Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves join us. SaveBabyWill.com. Donations needed at buymeacoffee.com/SaveBabyWill. We'll put all that on screen for you. They're up in the middle of the night in New Zealand. We also have the reporter who's going to be joining us who first broke this travesty so the world would know about this attack on parents, on bodily autonomy by these Joseph Mengele-esque mad scientists. So Cole Reeves and Samantha Savage, thank you for joining us. Tell us what this has been like and lay out what's happened so far and then the latest news about the supposed guardianship of these doctors taking over.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, I mean, it's horrendous. It's horrendous what's happening and what's happened and what our baby is facing. And we're feeling pretty upset by it all, as you can imagine. Yeah, we're just sort of putting one foot in front of the next now.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, for having us on. It's it's a great honour to be able to tell the world what's going on here in this country, because it's very criminal. We were sort of flabbergasted that the legal system's got down to this, where they're essentially medically kidnapping our baby, and then they're going to perform a medical experiment on him, which is now proven to be a medical experiment, because it's been proven in the court the other day, and all the parties agreed that this blood product that they're offering is got some serious problems. And I mean, that was a fact that was brought out in the court and agreed to by the judge and by everyone. So we're just wondering how you can sort of justify going ahead with an operation when you know that there's a problem.
Well, the news always condenses it down, only shows one side. Tell us the timeline here, when this began, when it became a story.
Well, it began, I suppose, at his birth. And then because we are people that haven't decided to take the injection, there was always a lot of fear around us. So, in subsequent baby scans and things in Sam's tummy, all of what should have been picked up was missed through people being terribly afraid of us because we're not vaccinated. And so, what should have been a problem that could have been addressed a long time ago was only picked up not that long ago, and now it's just blown out into all of this.
Yeah, so basically we've been told that this sort of condition for Will is something that is often picked up in the antenatal scans. So I had the antenatal scan, and it should have taken 2 hours and it only took an hour because she was just trying to rush it through. And then, there's been 2 echoes that have been done once he was born that also missed it, and the 3rd echo is the one that actually found the problem, and then it was a big rush after that to try and get the treatment for him. But again, as a mother knows, I knew that there was something wrong from the very beginning. I'm a trained professional myself, and I knew that what was happening with him wasn't right. There was something going on, and I pushed the nurses and the people that were coming to our home just to try and figure out what actually was going on, and finally we found out that it was to do with his heart.
So you, with Mother's Intuition, said he was sick. It was proven he was sick. And now your research and common science and experimental injections and a huge international scandal that blood banks say people don't want blood that's been contaminated. They mix the blood together. We've had huge scandals with Bayer knowingly shipping out millions of doses of a blood product they knew had HIV and hepatitis in it, that famous scandal. And so this is a big scandal. This is a legitimate thing that you're saying that, there should be blood banks now that are been given the experimental shots and those that don't. So what you're saying, I think, is being attacked and shut down because it makes so much sense and it's so legitimate and they don't want any precedent for this.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly right. And, we've been painted in the media as something that we're not. We're loving parents that want actually the very, very, very best for our baby. We know he needs heart surgery. We've been, pleading with the whole medical team here to do it. But please, we don't want blood that potentially could have spike protein. We don't want that. We know that is, he's got a compromised heart. We don't want to put something in that could be cardiotoxic to his heart.
Which, by the way, as you know, it's now admitted all over the world. Governments admit, the CDC admits here in America, that it does attack young people's hearts. There's no doubt about that. And
especially males. And he's male.
And he's already got an existing heart condition, that is quite rare. And then it's just incredible, but they're arrogantly saying we aren't going to bother looking for anything in the blood because we deem that the blood people are telling us it's safe, so we won't even look into it.
Wow, they have really bitten off more than they could chew. I want to go to break and give you guys the floor and bring in the reporter, Liz Gunn, that broke this anytime she wants to pop in. But there's so many facets to this. I just want to say as we go to break, I want to thank you for standing up for my rights, because this is all a global run thing. So Australia is America, Canada is Germany, South Africa is New Zealand. I mean, we're all facing the same big corporate biomedical takeover, and we're all going to be faced with this. And so you guys are like the icebreakers just because of the time and where God put you to be on the front line saying no. And I want to thank you for myself and my family for standing up for all our rights. People need to go right now to SaveBabyWill.com. You can also donate to these folks to help battle and fight this. Their fight is our fight. This is so important. SaveBabyWill.com or buymeacoffee.com/SaveBabyWill. These monsters want full control of our lives. They're targeting our children with these poison shots. Now they want to put poison blood in them. Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves are little baby Will's parents. And there's a lot of background here that I want to get into about your career and what you've witnessed, Samantha. Let's let you see what's going on. I see the reports that are even in major studies now that breastfeeding women that have taken the shot, the babies are getting really sick from the spike protein. This is not debatable now that it's infected the blood supply, that it keeps replicating in the bodies. This is a very legitimate concern with the horrible history, not just here in the U.S., but New Zealand, particularly with the Bayer scandal, was one of the worst hit, along with France. It's just outrageous they're doing this. And Cole Reeves, I want you to be able to get out all the incredible points here that the world needs to know, and the timeline here of them trying to force this blood product on the baby.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Well, we have been in and out of the system for a little while now, and just with the baby's condition, and there was a procedure that was performed, and I won't go into what any of that because it didn't work. And so right there and then we just said, no, we have to supply the very best for our child that we can possibly supply, which is, we know that this next procedure that they told us about is going to need to have, blood products. And so, we're onto it, people, and we decided to, find a way, and I mean, it seemed simple to begin with, find a way to get blood, donated by our donors that we all found. We found donors, or Sam did. Sam found them. She's an incredible lady that's just, over the top. Well, we found these donors. And we thought that would be a really easy procedure because in the blood website we do direct donor blood services for if you need that. And so we got the donors ready. And then it seemed like it was the doctor can sign a piece of paper and you get the service.
By the way, I didn't know this. I was going to ask you this question. I know a lot of people got concerned about tainted blood with all the problems of so many even famous people getting bad blood and dying of HIV or hepatitis or other things, that a lot of people will go out and find friends or family that have the same blood type or a comparable donor, and then they will give blood. So you have fresh, good blood for the procedure. You had that, but still they said no. Wow, this is just raw power grab.
Well, it is. And it all boils down to Will can't have his parents make a decision for him. So the state has just said, no, we're not going to even listen to you. We're not going to listen to your concerns. We're not going to do anything. We're going to just take control, and we're going to force this product into this baby and we're not even going to test for it because we don't think there's a problem. Oh, mate, there is a clear problem here, and it's not just the blood. It's actually the state taking control of someone's human right, and it's the state taking control of, if they take control of this, what they're going to take control of next. And then we boil down to, hey, this is so big. It's posing so many questions, but there's it is. Hey, so we've had to make the stand because there's hundreds of thousands of people in this country that didn't want to take the injection. There's millions around the world, and hey, all of those people right now are having to be forced. If they need a blood transfusion, they're going to have to be forced to take whatever blood there's
That's right.
put into them.
That's right. There's already a huge global debate about the tainted blood supply and the Clintons being involved, knowing they were putting HIV in it with a big company in Canada. It's just so sick. Samantha, I'm told that Will was not alone when you gave birth, that he's a twin who's fine. Thank God doesn't have a heart issue, and that you're also a midwife. So you've seen a lot of this up front. Tell us about those experiences.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was mandated, so when that came in, I was escorted out of the hospital I was working in by security through the mandate, and I suppose our governing body, as midwives, has been very, very vocal on their opinions around the vaccination, and they've tried to sort of keep a lot of midwives quiet.
Wow, so they're kicking you out of your job. They're coming for your baby. I mean, this, just like Cole said, this is there's not much more rights to take after this.
No. Yeah, the hospital has, and the government has railroaded us as parents. They've tried to silence the parental voice, which is all wrong. We're loving parents, and we've never once said we don't want the operation. We wanted it. We want it, but we want it with the safest blood, and that should be a human right, a basic human right, and it should be a basic human parental right. Since when has the state had the authority to say that I will make those decisions for your baby?
Well, you guys look great for being up in the middle of the night in New Zealand and having twins. We should all be praying for you as well. God's the ultimate arbiter here in my view. But wow, just incredible.
Yeah, well, it is incredible, and we're like I said before, we're a little bit like flabbergasted at the whole procedure. It's completely possible to make this happen, and we just can't understand why they're not making it happen. So we've had meetings, and they just said, no, we can make it happen, but we're just not going to. There's no way we're going to do it for you. And in a decent society, doesn't the entire society rally around to make things happen to make a baby well? That's what
Well, they want to do horrible, out in the open, evil things, just like China, to set the precedent for power. And if they own your children, they own your body, they can put tainted blood in you. What else is there? Like all the ancient falling societies demanded human sacrifice. It's the same thing. They just want total control over our bodies.
Yeah, well, it's so our stance is we're never going to be comfortable with this. We'll never be comfortable with medical experimentation on a kid with unknown substances.
Wow. We got about a minute and a half to break. We're going to come back with more and the journalists that help you guys break this. But what is the timeline? Or you don't know. He obviously needs the surgery. They won't let you get a donor that's safe and healthy. What do you do? Well, what's the timeline? Are they going to try to take him if you don't do it, or what's going to happen?
Yeah, so they're meant to be doing surgery probably on Friday. Today is Thursday, so tomorrow.
Wow.
And they put security guards on the ward. They're telling me I'm not allowed to take him out. They said if I do, they will enforce police or oranga tamariki on me. So it's just disgusting, trying to make us prisoners in a hospital.
Yeah, so Sam is medically imprisoned right now, and so is the baby, even though the court documents say otherwise. So they've come in last night and threatened us, and we had to exit them from the room that we're imprisoned in. There's just lies surrounding the entire government case, and only the truth surrounding our case.
Wow, wait. So you're basically locked up right now in the facility?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, whoa. Okay. This just gets crazier by the minute. It just always gets worse, folks. It doesn't get better until it gets better. We'll be right back. So Fauci 4 years ago in a big C-SPAN interview with a bunch of the different directors of federal agencies bragged and said, we're going to, quote, blow up the old system. We're going to get rid of approved drugs and products. We're going to force through whatever we want, probably using a novel virus out of China, something like the bird flu. We played the clip many times. And now concerted through the big corporations telling the UN what to do. They are doing this worldwide, and the governments run by these World Economic Forum stooges, particularly in the case of New Zealand, have had lockdowns only rivaled by communist China, decried by the West, but almost as bad. And Liz Gunn is a former well-known MSM journalist who's now on the right side of history, starting her independent media outlet last year after she wrote a love letter to New Zealand as she watched Prime Minister destroy her country. She is now one of the leading voices speaking out against the tyrannical government in New Zealand and was asked by a friend to help Cole and Sam with their baby Will's story. Free New Zealand, along with Counterspin Media, have collaborated to make this important story go global, as not only is it about baby Will's life, but it also has implications for people all over the world. FreeNZ.org. FreeNZ.org. We're going to go to her in a moment. But under Stalin's Russia, under Hitler's Germany, if you study the history, they first came with euthanasia and forced medical actions. Then they started euthanizing people forcibly and saying, oh, they wanted it. And they would come take your disabled child and, oh, they died at the hospital. And now in China and everywhere, oh, the men in white lab coats are really military, take you away. If any country tried this, there'd be an uprising worldwide, not just in the country. But if it's medical, oh, it's medical. They admit it's about the Great Reset and total power and control. I want to go back and keep them through the rest of the hour, but then go to Liz to get her take on this in a moment. Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves, who I didn't realize are locked up in the medical facility with themselves and the other twin baby to Will, and they're forcing the procedure tomorrow and won't let them use their untainted blood donor, which is a very common practice around the Western world, that people know that having heart surgery is dangerous. You can get really bad stuff in the blood supply. And so you have friends or family that have a comparable type that'll work, do it. They said no, which just takes the level of this to a whole nother level of tyranny. So other comments you'd like to make before we bring Liz Gunn in here, Samantha and Cole?
Yeah, we just like to say that we know that God is in charge of this. We're believers. We've got a great faith, and that is really one of the underpinning things as to why we are standing for this, because it's so much bigger than us. It's so much bigger than the baby, and God does not want this to be perpetrated on mankind. He doesn't want it to be perpetrated on the baby. So, we give him all the credit. We give him all the honor. We seek nothing for ourselves. We just seek, his right way for the baby. And so I'm a bit speechless still. But that's where we stand from. We stand from a godly point of view that this is not right in any degree that it's been, played out in.
So yeah, our faith is what's holding us and keeping us strong and sustaining us. And ultimately we know, that the judge has ruled that the hospital is in favour, but ultimately we know that God is in control.
That's right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the good news is this: China's having to stop their lockdowns because the people at the breaking point, they're backing down all over. They're going to try to come back, but it shows when we stand up, and you guys are at the very tip of the spear, we have victory. That's what I tell the listeners when they call and thank me on air. You thank me. No, I want to thank you. And I want to thank Liz Gunn, who we're about to bring on, because we're all in this together, and it's the listeners supporting this broadcast, and their word of mouth is just as important as anything we do. The only way this gets out is everybody having the courage to tell the truth and realize how important their voice is to circumvent the censors, the AI, and the tyranny. Your own evil prime minister that's under the control of Klaus Schwab, has just been caught lying everywhere. Her numbers have plunged. Everyone's turning against her. And so we're really hitting that final point of their resistance, and you guys are going to take us over the top, and we pray for your son and you. Let's bring Liz Gunn in here of freenz.org. Liz, thank you so much. I've already followed your work and seen a lot of your work previous to being on with us. So congratulations on what you're doing for freedom. Now give us your expert view on this.
My expert view is this, Alex. God wins either way now. God absolutely wins, because many, many Kiwis, thousands, I'd say millions, are waking up in horror and going, even those who've been asleep, who've been going along with the lies of this prime minister, who've been saying she wouldn't hurt us. Oh, she was so lovely in the Christchurch shootings. Oh, she was so trusted. She was a hero of the world. And people around the world who used to think, oh, you've got a great prime minister down there in New Zealand. Messages from all over saying, this is monstrous. Who is this monster running your country? How could she stay silent through all of this? Not one word. While this little baby, this beautiful little boy who, remember, there was one other baby, Alex, who was born at Christmas time, who changed the world. Is this another one of those? And Will and Sam, baby Will is just such a beautiful, beautiful creature, but Cole and Sam would never make any claim beyond the fact that he's a very sacred little human baby. But there is something about the energy of this baby that has God's might within him, around him, and reaching out from him into the hearts of many New Zealanders. So God wins either way. And I'll tell you the other side of that, Alex. The government loses. They've won the case and they lose. Why? Because there's no trust for them. There's no respect for them. There's no love. The only thing they're left with is bullying and conniving. Yesterday morning, I was in, and Sam was being pursued by two big burly security guys. She needed to go. She said to me, I needed to go for a walk, meditate, pray with God, ask for guidance. I needed time out. And I went up to the head nurse and I questioned her. I'm a journalist. I'm trained in law, so I'm good at questioning, but I'm also extremely smart. And I was calm. I was clear. I was directed in my questions, but I wasn't intimidated, and they didn't like it. And so what they did was trump up a charge that I had intimidated them. I think that was what it was. Came into the room. At one point, there were up to 17, I think about 9 big burly henchmen, and a whole lot of supposedly senior nurses and things, one of whom wouldn't even look at Sam. And I kept saying, she is the mother here. Your job is to make this a safe place. This is not a safe environment for this mother who is still feeding her babies. She won't have the milk if you don't look after her. Stop stressing her. Get out of this room. Well, they marched me out of that hospital because I stuck up for a mother, because I questioned why they're putting henchmen to follow her, intimidate her. She will never be broken. But we are so extraordinarily lucky in New Zealand that we had people of this quality, of this caliber, of Cole and Sam, to stand up for their baby, because I think most other parents would have been broken by the psychological gains that have clearly come from higher up. And we know that this Prime Minister is capable of the most inordinate cruelty. Interestingly, Alex, all over our Free NZ pages last night were trolls. And we know they're government trolls because they're sort of bots. They've got a look. The pages don't have friends. They don't have comments. But they just put up these cruel, cruel comments and laughter emojis on a night that for most Kiwis has been a night of grave grieving for the country that we all long for, that we all feel baby Will is calling us back to. There were candlelight vigils before the trial, before the hearing in court. I'm just shocked at the judge's decision. There was an admission. I'll tell you this, Alex, this was incredible. All the time that I've been engaged with them, right up to the night before that hearing, the doctors in the hospital and the head of NZ Blood Service were arrogantly dismissing the concerns of this well-researched couple, saying, oh, the blood's all the same. What are you talking about? On the night before the hearing in court, a pile of affidavits were delivered to the lawyers for Sam and Cole. And those affidavits were admitting that the blood service knows at least this.
Hold on, stay there. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us. Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves have twins. SayBabyWill.com is the baby that the mother discovered had a heart problem, not the medical system, of course. And then they said, oh, we're going to give them the transfusion blood. She said, well, I'll get a donor. I'll get people that haven't done it. They said, no, we're doing it. So they sent in dozens of police. They got them locked up. They're going to do the surgery tomorrow. Now, this is a raping of this child. This is a biological rape. This is medical experimentation. And they just want to normalize all this, but it's not going to be normalized. We should all be praying for little baby Will right now. Liz Gunn, you got caught up on the break. You're getting into the stack of affidavits that came in just recently with people. I mean, it's a well-known scandal everywhere how tainted the blood supply is, much less the huge scandal of the blood crisis in Europe, in Australia, in New Zealand, in the U.S. and Canada of people not wanting to take blood from people who have been given an experimental mRNA shot. They admit continues to grow prions or protein crystals associated with spongiform encephalopathy type disorders, not just myocarditis.
It's shocking, and we will really need to focus the lens on New Zealand blood. It's called NZ blood. If anybody from anywhere in the world wants to write a protest letter, look up NZ blood and write a letter of extreme protest, because it was their lawyer in the hearing that absolutely blocked this, who said, look, even if the judgment or the decision goes the way of this family, NZ blood will not help them get the unjabbed blood. That was in effect what this lawyer said. It was a very dark last part of that hearing.
Because that's how they get the people that haven't taken the poison shot. But you got interrupted by the satellite break. They're hard breaks. We're on over 400 stations. I hate to go to those, but they're hard breaks. You were talking about those affidavits.
The affidavits, they came in, and in those affidavits, finally, NZ blood admitted, after denying and denying to the face of this family, into their face, that there was any problem. They admitted that they knew that mRNA remnants remain in blood for 14 days, up to 14 days. That's what they admitted. So they have been giving New Zealanders blood that has remnants of mRNA, not pure blood, and they were maintaining this blood was absolutely the same as the blood of unjabbed.
So, of course, they released that to cover their butt, because later, as long as they admit it, they think they're covered. Of course, the real studies show in everyone it continues to replicate. So it doesn't just last 14 days.
Absolutely. And they would have perjured themselves, Alex. You know, it is just shocking what we've seen. We've seen Sam locked down. We've seen her bullied constantly. We've seen her asked to go to meetings late at night when she's breastfeeding the children when she needs to be looked after. And now we're seeing this baby taken from. And for anybody who thinks it's just this, it's not. As you said earlier, it always goes one step further. How far are we now from the state being able to say, oh, we want this newborn baby to have 3 injections immediately, and we deem that that's the best thing. And we've got brought up doctors, we've got whatever else we need to say that that's the right thing. So now you parents have no right. So every single parent anywhere in the world, or planned to be parent or grandparent, or should I say human, needs to be horrified at what Jacinda Ardern's government has done here in this decision, because ultimately, this lies at the feet of the person leading the country. With one stroke of a pen, she could say, no, we override this. It is not just, it makes no scientific sense because of what they admitted to in court, that there's product in the blood. So I am going to step in as this heroic Prime Minister. I love to be seen like that overseas. I'm going to step in and finally do something that does not brutalize my people. Because
but she's a slave of the globalists and Klaus Schwab. She can't do it. We have the parents, Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves here, SaveBabyWill.com, but they're tough. So I'm going to go ahead and just say this. And I'm a parent of 4, and I totally empathetically feel like it's my baby too, so it tears my guts out. But you use the Christ example, them coming after our children. Is that innocence under attack? God forbid, and it's not going to happen. We pray to God. But if this was a Christ-like moment, God forbid the baby does get sick from the blood. They'll try to cover that up, or God forbid something else happens to the baby. It'll be their Waterloo. So they're really rolling the dice right here with this archetypal Christ figure.
Yeah, well, that's right. Sorry, Liz. They're stepping over the line that can't really be stepped over.
No, elaborate on that, Cole and Samantha.
Yeah, well, you know, it's what's happening here is just the beginning of an authoritarian takeover, and it's coming for all of us if we don't do what Sam and I have, undertaken. And we realize really quickly that we're standing for every person that wants their own human right and their own decisions for their own family, and everybody that might need a blood transfusion, they don't have any choice. They're getting what they're going to give them, and that's not right. These people have made an informed consent to not have an injection, which is totally their rights. But now you cut yourself and you don't have any rights. You're just going to get pumped full of whatever they deem is safe for you, where it's been proven clearly that it's not safe.
And you're speaking detained with your wife and children in this medical facility, now being converted to a Nuremberg violating angel of death operation. I'm sorry, that's what this is.
Yep.
We just ask that, everyone just speak up, stand tall with us. We want to thank you for, all the New Zealanders that are standing with us, Liz and Sue, our lawyer, everybody that's involved in this, Counterspin, all the people that have given hours and hours of their time. We're just asking, please continue, because the fight's not over. We're still standing, we're still fighting for our baby.
Unfortunately, we seem to be on the front line this right minute. Hey, we'd all rather be somewhere else and doing something else and just on the farm. But it's just so wrong. We've got to continue standing right to, well, we've got to get understanding right to their last breath now. It's they've decided it's going to be that way. They could have decided to make it go away and sign some papers and it would have gone away. But no, they're challenging good people. They're coming against God and God's will. So and they're coming against Will. That's our baby's name. Our baby's name's Will, and he's really important. And God's using this child to awaken the world to that there's a big problem with blood, and we need to have just blood products available that we're all comfortable with, and if people are comfortable with New Zealand's blood service, that's fine. They can have that, but we're having our rights taken away, and we're also having massive deletions from the blood banks' websites that they offered the service, but now they don't because we want something that's so controversial. And hey, the end of the day, the question is, well, if we give these people this, then it poses the question in 6 billion people's mind, what's going on inside me?
And in the free market, everyone will reject their tainted blood, and then that's game over for them. Exactly. You're the first domino to fall. That's why this is so incredibly important. Liz Gunn, comments on that?
Yeah, if the decision had gone the right way, people would have said, wait a minute, does that mean there's a difference between the bloods? Does that mean something was put in my body that is still in the blood system? Does that mean the Prime Minister lied to me about it being safe and effective, which she said over and over? And then all the cards would have fallen down. I'm particularly worried. Somebody sent me last night something about the judge that he rolled out from Bell Gully, a law firm in Auckland. He rolled out the government's climate change. He was in charge of that climate change policy rollout and stepped down from there to become a judge. Now, I just leave that there as a fact. I need to investigate that more, but certainly we'll be looking at New Zealand's blood service. If we have anybody overseas who can reach out with brilliant ideas, the trouble with this decision is if we go back for an appeal, the actual appeal has to go before the same judge. It's the way this was an interim hearing on this application. It wasn't a full trial, and we thought of going to a full trial, and the delays and the stresses that they're putting this family under made me feel that the one option we have is for millions from around the world to contact Jacinda Ardern's office in Wellington and say, we see you. She doesn't like being seen beyond our shores for the cruelty she does. We see you. We do not agree with your decision. You must let this family have the unjabbed blood for their baby Will.
Well, that's right. Will is the example of us all controlling our own bodies and our own futures. And you're absolutely right. Do 5 more minutes with us. This is so important. SaveBabyWill.com. We're going to break for 2 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, this is just pure tyranny. And they want to just condition us to accept this. We're not accepting this. We're not going quietly into the night. It's not happening. And she's scared. Her numbers are plunging. All of these criminals are in trouble. Fauci's going to get arrested. There's criminal investigations in Florida. We've only begun to fight. It's very simple. The behavioral psychologists, the psychological war experts, the globalists, want us to give up on our life force, our common sense, our parenthood, our instincts God gave us, but we're not. So what this family is doing is so beautiful. We should all back what they're doing. And we should realize this is the front lines of the fight. So whatever happens tomorrow, I know this stuff's going through court. You want the surgery, but you don't want the tainted blood. Please join us Sunday. That's a little bit later in the day, so I guess it'll be later in the morning, so it's not in the middle of the night for you. Or join us on Monday to give us an update here, because we're obviously all watching this so closely. So closing comments from Samantha Savage and Cole Reeves, and then, of course, Liz Gunn.
Hey, we are just overwhelmed with the amount of love and support through, Liz, through the legal team, the massive amount of lawyers that have grouped around us, incredible people. We're just, so in awe of their incredible, sacrifice to drop everything and then just come to the aid of our baby. And they didn't even know us to begin with, and now they're kind of like our best friends. And we're loving on these people because they're just they've shown that they're real human beings, not, they've got no agendas apart from to get the baby fixed. And we're just so thankful for everyone that doesn't know us. It's this group around, and that's hundreds of thousands of people. We're getting messages and we're getting support.
But that's the human instinct, is to stick together. That's civilization. That's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we're just so proud of the New Zealand people for just rallying around us and rallying around this cause. And we just want to thank everyone. It's not over. Everyone needs to continue to stand with us and fight, because this is just the beginning. It's not over.
Yeah, absolutely. Liz?
And these people who would love nothing more, Alex, than to be living their private lives uninterfered with by the state on their little farm with their kids running around that they so love and would lay down everything for. I am begging this woman who has shown no heart to us until now in the last 2-3 years, Jacinda Ardern. We have no other options. We actually need you as a people. We need you to stand up and say, this is wrong. I know you don't have that naturally, but with enough public pressure, with enough embarrassment, with enough shame from the world's population saying what you are doing to this couple is so wrong, you could step in. Because we can't go through the courts, because we have to go back before that same judge. And who is he? How could he have made this decision when they admitted there is mRNA remnants in the blood and that the other blood is so pure? How could he have made this decision that this is for the best interests of baby Will's health? Do not underestimate how much this little baby and these brave parents mean to the people of New Zealand. Do not underestimate our spirit, and do not underestimate how many people around the world are enraged and standing with us against you, Jacinda, until you back down. Do the right thing. Stop this operation and allow the parents to get the blood they want from the cleared pediatric donors who are unjabbed. honor these parents and honor this baby, because it will absolutely go bad for you. And it's already bad enough. It will absolutely go bad if you force this operation tomorrow. We have no other way except to bleed. Help us, Jacinda Ardern. In the eyes of the world, you are on show now.
Absolutely. It's already Thursday where you're at. It's Wednesday here. So I'm thinking like, oh, we'll get them on this weekend, but you're a day ahead of us. So come on tomorrow. Come on Friday. Give us updates. I've got a family member having surgery tomorrow, so I won't be here for the show, but I'll be here later in the day. And Owen will be hosting the show. But please come on and give us updates. And just God bless you and thank you so much. And I'll say this in closing. I look at the body language of Klaus Schwab and your prime minister, his agent. They look really scared right now. They look freaked out. And they should be, because humanity's awakening. All right, Samantha Savage, Cole Reeves, SaveBabyWill.com, Liz Gunn. Please come on tomorrow if you can. If you can't, I know you're busy. We're all watching and praying. And obviously on the Friday show, I'll be back to cover it all. You're in Thursday. We are in Wednesday here. You're on the other side of the globe. God bless you. We're all praying for your beautiful baby. SaveBabyWill.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We love you. We'll be right back. Stay with us. December 2022 is here, and we are proud and very excited to announce that free shipping is back at InfoWarsStore.com. That's right, free shipping on all orders of $50 or more. But we've signed a new deal with a big national shipping company, and they're able to cut our regular shipping costs by up to 50%. So that means even on orders that are below $50, you're going to be paying way lower than you were previously. This is a game changer. We're so excited about it. Our listeners had really asked for free shipping again. We couldn't afford it before, but by moving to a bigger national distributor, we're able to do it. So now your orders will be shipped even faster, the same great customer service and more. So get huge discounts and free shipping on so many great items at InfoWarsStore.com right now. I want to thank you all for your support, but now there's no excuse to boost your immune system, lead a healthier life, and keep InfoWars on the air. InfoWarsStore.com. All right, I'm about to hand the baton to Royce White. He's one of the smartest people when it comes to what's happening in the culture battles. For the next hour, the Destroyer takes over at 3 p.m. Central. Everything I've done in my life has been about liberty and freedom. I've always loved justice. I've always hated bullies. And there are a few times in my life I went a little too far. Once I already knocked a bully down that I broke their ribs and stomped their brains out. But I've learned to back off at the point and to be more Christ-like. But I'll say this, better to be overzealous in the fight for liberty than to not have that spirit and to not have that will. That will to stand up for what's right and say no to tyranny. And we are in the midst of such an incredible time. I read the actuary insurance company reports, 30, 40 million people have been killed by these shots. I mean, and it's just beginning. I mean, it is such a nightmare. But we're going to fight through this together, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to win in the end. This is the big animating contest of liberty. This life on this planet is nothing but a test, and we are going through this test together. Now, let me do this, not because I like doing it, but because I got to do it to stay on air. Plus, these are things you really need. But it should be a no-brainer, but it's all in God's plan that I am constantly kept between the red and the black. I am constantly kept right on the line the last 4 years with being shut down. So it's in God's plan. I'm not complaining. And maybe it's God's plan we shut down. But God works through you to decide if that's what needs to happen. So I need everybody watching or listening to not procrastinate, to reach out, to take action, and get great things you already need ready to ship to you at InfoWarsStore.com, where we already have huge deals, the best ever. Up to 60% off with promo code 7076, double Patriot points for your next order, free shipping on orders $50 or more, reduced shipping costs everywhere. We got a lot better deal on shipping. InfoWarsStore.com. You need Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula for your immune system in your body and for inflammation. It's the strongest turmeric out there. People love it. Our vitamin C is 1100% super high quality organic, 1100% Daily Alliance with the zinc and the rose hips to supercharge its Linus Pauling Nobel Prize winning formula. That's there. Vitamin D3 gummies with calcium, super high quality. X2 sold out, X3 sold out, Ultra 12 is almost sold out, Vaso Beach is almost sold out, Super Male Vitality selling out, Super Film Vitality selling out. It's all there. These are amazing products, the very best you can get. And they found this operation. It was a straight donation you'd be winning. You know we're doubling down. We're not backing down. But these are amazing products. So go to InfoWarsStore.com right now. I salute you for all your past support. And buy products today. You can get the book, The Great Reset, The War for the World, signed or unsigned. We're going to end signed copies very, very soon. Great Christmas gifts. Please keep us on air. Because when you call and thank me, it's ass backwards. It's the cart in front of the horse. You are the reason we're here. You are the reason the word gets spread. You're the guys and gals that grab clips out of the show and share them. You're the people that do all that. You're the people that decide whether we're going to stay on air or not. You're the people that are going to decide whether this dog hunts. So I salute you and I thank you. Now, I know that Royce White's been a critic of some of these people. He's got his own agenda. I haven't talked to him other than text a few days ago, so I don't know what he's about to cover. But I want to hit something in closing and just say this. I've challenged Kanye West, formerly Kanye West, into a friendly debate with Nick Fuentes. It's going to be 2 against 1. To not try to discredit Ye, but to try to educate him from my own perspective. Because if he says he respects me and been listening for 15 years, well, he should actually listen to me and at least take what I'm saying into account. Doesn't mean he has to agree with me. But I see the left pushing racial division, the left saying white people are inherently evil because they're white. And then I see Ye come out and say, well, I don't trust any Jew I meet because Jews might be bad. All I'm saying is That's the opposite of what Martin Luther King said. You should judge people by what they stand for and who they are. I'm not saying there's not cabals in Hollywood and a Jewish mafia that's out there, but there's other mafias as well. But I played earlier Rutgers professor saying white people have got to be taken out. They're inherently evil because they have light skin. That is disgusting. Everybody knows that's stupid to judge somebody off what color they are. Again, everybody knows you go to a restaurant because it's got good food. You're not asking who's cooking it. You know it's a Chinese restaurant, or it's a soul food restaurant, or it's a Mexican food restaurant, or it's a Southern cooking restaurant. You go there because it's good. You listen to Jimi Hendrix because it sounds great and touches your soul, not because he was black. Or you listen to Waylon Jennings, not because he was white, because it touches your soul. It's the same thing, and it takes away our humanity to be in a group. We should be Christian. We should be Americans. We should be pro-human. We should be constitutionalists and then unify. And it doesn't matter whether your daughter's black and brings home a white guy, or your daughter's white brings home a black guy, or vice versa, or you're Hispanic and somebody brings home an Asian person. It's their values and what they stand for and what's in their head, their spirit, that really decides who they are. So I see this Nick Fuentes thing, and I've just teased Nick a little bit, on air, and called him baby Hitler to his face while he was here, because he never told me he loved Hitler, so I got in his face about it. I don't like Hitler. And he put this out. Alex Jones got the call with the Star of David. Everybody's, he got the call. He's not in the group. I got the call of my conscience, the call of my history, the call of my research, the call that I know that World War II was more complex than we're told. I know British intelligence helped put Hitler in. I know all that went on. I know about World War I, the Treaty of Versailles, how the Germans got screwed over. But it doesn't mean at the end of the day, Hitler got 22 million Germans killed. He killed 20-something million Russians. It was a bad war. We don't need wars. We don't need that. And so these flippant responses about nobody gives me a call and tells me what to say, and everybody knows that. I say what I believe is right and that is unifying and is good for everybody. People in Israel are being given the most draconian shots. They have the highest death rate from the shots in the world. And I'm not lionizing Israel and saying they're all perfect. Why is Israel the supposed elite group and they're being given poison shots? There's something bigger here. And they're using all this race stuff to manipulate us and control us. I back free speech. I back Ye or Fuentes or anybody saying what they want. But it doesn't mean I then agree with them. Free speech doesn't mean I agree with everything you say, or you put out a flippant call that Alex Jones attacked by the whole power structure. Everything after me that I supposedly got a call. Yeah, I got a call when they're trying to kill my ass. I got a call when these big mafias are suing me. I got a call when the ADL has their summits the last 4 years in a row. I'm their #1 enemy, and it's real. And they shake with anger because I know they're race pimps, and they're closer to Hitler than even Ye is. And they're using race to control people, but they don't represent Jews. They're getting Jews persecuted to control and suck off Jews. I care about everybody knowing how the trick works. I'm like a guy who tells you how the magician trick works. And they don't want that, folks. That's why they hate me. I'm telling you how the scam works, how they got a card up their sleeve, and who they are. Because I want humanity to succeed and go forward in the future. I got the call of the Holy Spirit. I got the call from God. I got the call to tell the truth. I got the call to change the world, and I've done it. And so I say to all the authoritarians, whether it's Joseph Stalin or Xi Jinping or Adolf Hitler or any of these people, that I don't support them. I support Americana, and I support the New Renaissance, and I support the real Christian system, and I support our founding fathers, and that's who I am. Royce White takes over.